Welcome back, boys and girls. And I have a few people asking me what is the most expensive rifle and scope that I own and what is the cheapest. So I decided to do a video, so here it goes. My most expensive, Christensen Mesa, and the scope is by Vortex Viper. So the rifle is about $1,300 and the scope is between $800 to $900. So this is about $2,100 to $2,200 setup. And my cheapest, yep, you guessed it, Thompson Center Compass chambered in 6.5 Creamore, and it's topped off with a Burris scope. The scope cost me $165, and the rifle, believe it or not, this rifle only cost me like about $180 back when it was on a really good price. But you could still get the whole setup for less than $500. Okay, so let's compare them side by side. Now as you can see, it's ugly versus beautiful. On the top, it's much better to look at. And it comes with a muzzle brake, and this comes with a threaded barrel, so you could actually add your own muzzle brake if you wanted to, or flash hider. And believe it or not, they both weigh the same. Now, Christensen Mesa is chambered in 7mm Remington Magnum, and Thompson Center Compass is chambered in 6.5 Creamore. And even with the Magnum class, that rifle weighs actually a little bit less than Thompson Center Compass. Now, but with a bigger scope, which weighs about twice more than Burris, it is heavier setup right now, but still very light setup. And if you take a close look at it, you could see that the bolt has been floated and they drew some hole at the bolt handles to lessen the weight. Whereas Thompson Center Compass, nothing like that has been done. Yeah, I mean, you could tell it's a bare minimum. And that's what you're really paying for. Okay, let's see how much the Thompson Center weighs with the scope on. It's 8 pounds and 9.3 ounces. Now the Christensen Mesa with the scope weighs 9 pounds and 5.6 ounces. Now biggest difference you're gonna notice as a shooter is trigger pull. Christensen Mesa, that thing is really sweet. No creep, nice and clean. And it's probably around 2 pounds. And with the Thompson Center Compass, this thing had one of the worst trigger when I first bought it. I replaced the trigger spring, so when it first came, it felt like probably about 5 pounds of pull. But now with the new spring, it feels like about 3.5 pounds. So it's pretty decent, but still, that's the biggest difference you're gonna notice. Now another big difference is the magazine. With the Christensen Mesa, it comes with attached magazine and holds 3 rounds in Magnum class. And you have to feed it, you have to load it from the chamber. Now, I really don't like that too much. Now, with the Thompson Center Compass, now that magazine holds 5 rounds in 6.5 Creamore. But in Magnum class, like 7 mag, it holds 4, so it's still plus. Now, one thing I don't like about this magazine is that it's kind of funny fitting. It's a lowery magazine, and you can't feed it from the top. You have to kind of slide it in from front to the back. So that's a little bit inconvenient. Even with ammunition, there's a big difference. With 6.5 Creamore, this is non-typical by Federal. This thing only costs 50 cents a pop. I bought it when they had a great rebate on it. And then as for the 7mm Remington Magnum, I reloaded myself with 150 grain bounce tip. It's 100% copper bullet. And usually this ammunition costs about $2.50 a pop. But because I reloaded, it still cost me a little bit more than $1. I think about $1.20, $1.30 a pop. So there's a big difference. Okay, let's go do some shooting. Now, only problem is I haven't shot in past 5 or 6 months, since March. So I honestly don't know how well I'm gonna shoot. It's been a while. I can't believe this, but I'm actually getting a little nervous about going to the range. It's been so long. I hope I shoot well today. I set the bolt scope to power 12, so we could be even. Okay, in Burris, we have a parallax adjustment in the front, which is not too bad, but less convenient. This is Burris. As you can see on my Thompson Center Compass, I did put a barrel stabilizer and I removed the thread cap, protector cap, and that makes actually shoot better. So one of my viewers told me about the cap, and I didn't make any adjustment to my Christensen Mesa. The parallax adjustments on the side is much smoother, very smooth. I said at the 100 yards, and the power is at 12. Just like the other one. Okay, as you can see, the crusher is much finer and it's much clearer. So you definitely get what you pay for, that's for sure. Alright, this is the cheapest setup that I have. Thompson Center Compass with the Burris scope. They're not cheap. even the ammunition, this is non-typical, 50 cents a pop. I bought it on the rebate. Now the trigger, I replaced the trigger spring. I'm gonna go for the left upper target, first target. Now one problem that I'm having is with a Thompson center is that with a soft nose, it's hard to do a single fitting. It gets stuck. So I actually have to remove the magazine and then fit it into the magazine, and then it's got no problem. Now obviously with more expensive rifle, the bolt action is crazy smooth. Alright, still touching the bullseye, except this time it's at 12. Alright, going for the third shot. Going for the third shot. And that's the bullseye. Alright, here's 100 yards. I'm gonna measure and let you know. Okay, with the Thompson center, I got 1 1/4 inch, and with the Christensen Mesa, I got a little bit over 1 1/4. But I'm just gonna go for the second 3 shots. I think a lot of it is me because I haven't shot for past what, since March, so that's 5-6 months. So, you know, first 3 shot group, not as what I used to shoot, but I'm gonna shoot to you as it is. But just to be fair, I'm gonna go for the second 3 shot group and see what happens. Alright, second 3 shot group, same target, left upper. Alright, going for the second 3 shot group, same upper middle target. Right in the bullseye. I think the biggest difference is that not shooting for 5-6 months, I'm having a hardest time adjusting the triggers, because when I was shooting all the time, I knew exactly where my triggers were, but now, you know, getting a little bit confused. So anticipation seems to be building up, but I hope I will shoot better on the second round. Let's see. First shot I made it right in the bullseye. Just a bit. Alright, here goes the last shot. I probably have about 1 inch group. Whew! Same hole, same bullseye. So now I like it. Okay, I wasn't too happy with my first 3 shot groups because I was kind of out of touch, but I did much better now. That's with Thompson center compass, that's probably about 1 inch. But with Christensen Mesa, 2 shot went to the same hole, and then I have 1 here, so this definitely did better. Okay, this is my second 3 shot group with Thompson center compass, 6.5 Primo. If you measure it, there's a little bit over 1 inch. So it is what it is. I'm gonna show it to you as it is. Now I've shot 1/4 inch group with this rifle, with this ammunition, but like I said, I think I've been out of touch because I haven't shot for past 5-6 months. Okay, this is my second 3 shot group with Christensen Mesa. I've done 1/4 inch many times, but like I say, I'm out of touch. But you know, I'm really pumped about having 2 shots going into the same hole. My first and the third shot, that's my second shot. So if we measure it, that's about 7/8 of an inch, so still under 1 MOA. I had one of the worst days of shooting today. Not shooting for 5 to 6 months really threw me off. I think the biggest problem I was having is that my muscle memory for my trigger has completely got whacked out. And I know I was hesitating when I pulled the trigger. Also, my breathing was way off. I think I was just too excited. Now the big question is it worth spending 4 times more for this rifle over Thompson center compass? Now honestly, I think so because I love this rifle, but at the same time, I love shooting the Thompson center compass. So if I was a beginner, I would go with Thompson center compass. I don't want to spend too much money with the start. Or if I'm very cautious with my spending, Thompson center compass have no problem at all. Now, if you're like me, who have enough guns and you want to try something new, Christensen Mesa is definitely something to think about. If I get a chance, next I'm going to take it out to 300 yards and then see how they shoot. And lastly, like always, thank God for what you have, enjoy life with what you got, but mostly remember, it's usually not the gun, it's you. See you.